My house is toddler-proofed because of Carlton. Carlton is 3 years old. He can open most cabinets, refrigerators, his bedroom door. He has opened my front door and the front fence and let himself and the dogs out previously. So, most anything that I don't want opened has to have some kind of additional latch
How does a pig open and close a door? With their snout? Is their
with
nose
their
involved?
snout. Yeah. If they can hook the ledge of their little snout under it, they can move or open anything. For a while before I figured out how to secure the door on his bedroom, I would come downstairs in the morning and there would be half eaten melons and fruit all over the kitchen floor. And I couldn't figure it out. So I set up a camera and he was actually he was letting himself out of his room overnight, opening the fridge, eating what he wanted, closing the fridge, and then putting himself back in his room.
So he's pretty food motivated.
Very food motivated. They have 15,000 taste buds. So food is extremely rewarding for pigs.
In 2019, Amanda Quick adopted a pig named Carlton through the Central Texas Pig Rescue. For someone who doesn't know what it's like to have a pet pig, is it kind of like having a pet dog in many respects?
It's like a dog in that they are house trained and leash trained and those sorts of things. It's not like a dog in the amount of activity that they need or the wear and tear on your house. So, the best way that I describe determining if you would like to adopt a pig to people or not is if you do not mind patching holes in your drywall and if you do not mind your yard being completely destroyed, then you might be a good fit for a pig.
What's the difference between training a dog and training a pig?
Pigs are smarter. So, pigs test with the same cognitive function as a 3-year-old human child. So, it has to be appealing, kind of like you would make learning for a toddler. If at any point it's not fun or interesting for them, they would rather go do their own thing.
What does he spend his time doing?
So he's spoiled. Carlton has his own room, so he has puzzles and toys that hang from the ceiling and balls that dispense treats that he can play with in there. And he has obviously an orthopedic bed, but they don't nap a lot. They're active
Wait,
about
what?
seven.
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry.
Obviously, in an orthopedic bed.
I guess that's just him being spoiled. We use a specific brand of bed just to make sure he's comfortable. I was a vet tech for almost 15 years, and so for me, I think every pet should be sleeping on an orthopedic bed. But yeah, so they're active about 75% of every 24 hours. So that's a key difference between pigs and dogs. They don't nap that frequently, and they really like to be outdoors. It's never a good fit for someone who wants an indoor only pig. They have to root. It's a really natural activity, and that's probably what they spend the majority of their time doing. So he comes inside and out, but I mean, he has a baby pool and a splash pad, and he actually has a little cart that he rides in behind my bicycle.
Every day, Amanda also takes Carlton for a 3-mile walk. The first October she had him, she noticed whenever they passed a pumpkin on someone's porch, Carlton would pull on his leash. And then, one day when he was playing in the yard, Amanda came out to check on him and found him with a half-eaten jack-o'-lantern.
And only the face of it was gone. He had just eaten the part that somebody had worked really hard on and left the rest.
Amanda says she looked on the sidewalk in front of her house and saw a trail of tea lights and pumpkin seeds. It led her to a house a few doors down. The man who lived there said he'd carved a jack-o'-lantern the night before, but now it was missing. Amanda told him she thought it could be her pig and that he'd eaten it. And now she had to figure out how Carlton had managed to get to the pumpkin in the first place.
So the front yard has a very small fence, and what I realized really quickly that he was going to be able to get out of it. So I started putting him in a harness with kind of a tie out to a big tree in the yard and the fence, and he would take his harness completely off and then hop over the small fence and leave.
And he'd always come back.
Oh yeah, He's gotten me even, I'd say 2 or 3 times since then, even with everything being doubly secure, where I've gone out front and he's been standing there completely naked of his harness, and I have no idea if he's left and come back or if he just wanted to be out there without his harness on for a while and didn't leave. So he's never stayed gone though. Every time I've opened the door, he's been here. I only know that he left because of the pumpkins.
Have you watched him take his own harness off?
I've never seen it. I don't know how he does it.
Amanda's neighbors started sending her videos from their doorbell cameras of her pig taking their pumpkins.
You'll see him go up on people's porch and then use his nose to roll the pumpkin down the stairs and then kind of out in their yard. And he doesn't always have the self-control to bring the whole thing home. Some of them he's eating their pumpkins on their porch or eating half of them and then dragging part of it home.
But her neighbors don't seem to mind.
People love to watch him eat pumpkins. They love it. So once they realized that he would, there were neighbors that were kind of jealous that he had not come to their house. Like they were watching their camera at night, hoping Carlton would come steal their pumpkins. And so when he didn't, we started getting messages from people asking like, hey, can we bring him a pumpkin and then watch him eat it? And so then some mornings I would open my front door and there would be like 10 pumpkins on the porch. Like someone had just made a delivery overnight and he would have this whole stash of pumpkins when he woke up.
She says he spreads the pumpkins all over the yard, and that there have been so many over the last few years that the seeds started to sprout.
The last couple years, my front yard is just a pumpkin patch. It sprouts up a ton of plants, and I have, I don't know, probably 200 pumpkins growing in my yard right now.
Oh my, his paradise. I'll never
yes.
leave again. Amanda bought a deep freezer to store the pumpkins. And eventually, she started an annual drive to donate leftover jack-o'-lanterns to the Central Texas Pig Rescue, where she got Carlton.